Good headline should tell you what happened, it should make you want to read more, and it shouldn't trick you. You know, I saw a perfect headline not long ago. Man survives samurai sword attack from girlfriend. It's perfect. You want to hear more, don't you? You hear that? It was amazing. This guy was like this kung fu fan, is what I read in the article. Big fan, loved every kung fu movie, kung fu magazines. He did it himself some. And I don't know his girlfriend's hobbies, except for going through his phone. Because she did this and found Tinder on his phone and decided he was cheating. And she did what, you know, most women would do. She went out and bought a samurai sword. I'm rethinking what I said about don't go to bed angry here. Because she taped the samurai sword to the side of her bed and waited for her boyfriend to fall asleep. Then she went samurai. She took the sword and just started hacking on him. And she didn't cheap out on the sword because it was doing some serious damage. She was cutting gashes all over his body. His foot was apparently hanging by a thread. And yet somehow he was able to make it to his other foot, the usable one, and using the Wing Chun close quarter fighting technique he had learned from movies, he was able to subdue his girlfriend. Even got her to call 911. And the police come, the ambulance comes, she goes to jail, he's off to the hospital. And I saw an interview with him about a few days later, and the newspaper said, despite being heavily bandaged and in a wheelchair, he was in a buoyant mood. He was in a buoyant mood, and because he said this, sure, I'm happy to be alive, but I'm just glad I won the fight. I've been preparing for this moment my entire life. So first thought, of course, is, what a psycho. And my second thought, being who I am, was, I'm not prepared for that moment at all. I'm not prepared for that. I don't know the Wing Chun technique. I know the Wang Chung technique, but that's just, everybody have fun tonight. That's not a great move in a fight. I'm not prepared for violence. I'm really not. I don't own a gun. Apparently, I'm not allowed to own a gun because I used to have a medical marijuana license, which was cured by legal marijuana. But apparently it left on my record, and apparently in a gun background check, that'll screw you up. I didn't follow up on this. I was too stoned, but apparently that's the case. And it's a trade I'm willing to make, quite honestly. You know, when I think back at my life, the amount of time I've spent worrying about someone breaking into my house pales in comparison to the amount of time I've spent worrying about running out of pot. I've thought about getting a gun, a handgun, to protect my house. I don't think I would do well with it. I don't know that I would necessarily defend my house. I think so much has to go right. You know? First of all, I have a two-story house, bedrooms on the second floor. It would have to be a pretty amateurish burglar for me to hear them come in over my wife. And then, have enough time to get my gun out of the thing and take my position, yeah, honey, get in the closet, That's not what's gonna happen. What's gonna happen is I'm just gonna wake up with my gun in my mouth, my brains on my pillow. But it's 100% machine washable, so.